sit there and dock my truck. Let me explain to you what I mean by that, sir. I have a track record of lying here on the internet because I have thin skin. I stole $3,000. I am not playing, Dragnet. Give me your address. Oh, wait, coward! How stupid can this guy be?
Okay, there we go. All right, I had to adjust something. I think it's low. Hold on, folks. Every time I change my audio in Discord, it lowers this microphone. I guarantee if I go to levels, yep, it lowered it down. Sure enough. Yep, there we go. Now you should be able to hear me a bit better. I noticed that I wasn't getting my normal range of peaks when I speak, so that's how I can tell when it does it. Don't know why. Anyway. If you guys have watched me on Nate's stream expressing some concern about the tacit attacks on me and Nate because of what Emperor Atheist decided to express, and you heard me mention that I reached out to certain folks, I wasn't kidding about that. I did. And those two folks shared my opinion, even without me saying much of anything about what that actually was. About how it's odd that the disgust and disdain and aversion towards one person somehow magically ended up being a reflection of people who weren't even involved with it. It's amazing how that works. So they are now privy to that, and soon some others will be too. Some very interesting folks. So, with that being said, good luck getting black folks on your platform. Anyway, so I had the pleasure of listening to Doc Savage and Omni last night in between classes. And man, oh man. G-Man is entering a weird realm where it's not just me making videos reviewing him now, it's two other guys who have watched my content and who have watched his content, and they know him a little bit better than he knows himself, which is not a surprise. But he knows very little about Omni. I've noticed that he doesn't really. I think Tyler Durden calls him the manic meth head or something like that. I don't. It's weird, but he thinks he knows Doc Savage. He thinks he knows a bit about him. You could honestly learn a lot about Doc Savage if you actually go to the LinkedIn link that he keeps alluding to, but methinks that he doesn't actually know how to do that. And it's weird because Doc Savage's real name is out there. He doesn't hide it at all. And in fact, when he first introduced himself, he told everyone his real name, and then he put out a few, it was like at least 2 links to research that he had done. So it's not surprising that G-Man had skipped that over because they contain big words. Pro tip, if you want to confuse G-Man, use big words. So his, I guess, response, or if you can even call it a response to the review video that they were doing, it was just like Hangout Inception, was fucking hilarious. From what I heard, he was just completely fucking lost. But you know what? That's fine. This video here, and by the way, there's going to be there's going to be some funny stuff with Hannibal and Monty dealing with G-Man and the drunken peasants as well. It's going to be something's brewing because people voted for G-Man a pain video. I forgot what they called it. There's something they do on their channel where people can, I think it's a torture session of something, and then people keep voting for G-Man, and I'm one of them. And so I think they're going to get G-Man on there. They might pay him to come on there or something, and have him educate them on cancer or something stupid. I don't know, but that's from what I understand. I know some of the details, but that's going to be painful. And people are voting for this pain. Now the AIDS that is G-Man will spread further. So anyway, I did a video talking about, hey, people take this shit too seriously. When I say this YouTube shit too seriously, if you're not PewDiePie, if you're not, I hate to even say DSP or Wings of Redemption, you're not actually getting paid like good money, like above the poverty line, good money to do this, then you probably shouldn't take this shit too seriously. That, especially if you have nothing going on in life. But that's me. And so he completely missed the point that I was making, because evidently having real life goals and aspirations is something that's beyond him. And so here is his response to that, because this title is actually, and interestingly enough, just like with the education title, he can't demonstrate that he has like a basic education in the fucking English goddamn language, or excuse me, gosh darn language. I forget. I have sensitive viewers with sensitive ears. Sorry, folks. Hurt your ears. So here is his response. Now, mind you, I've not actually listened to this. I don't listen to his shit unless I'm doing this. Like, I really don't care. Unless somebody else is doing what I do and they're doing a review of his retardation. So anyway, YouTube is G-Man's life. That's true. That is actually, like, I used to say that like 3-4 years ago. I would say that kind of flippantly just to fuck with him. But after meeting him and learning more about his life, that is absolutely true. Like, that is not an exaggeration, folks. He doesn't actually have friends. He doesn't actually have people in his life outside his family that feel sorry for him to rescue him when it's most convenient for him. That's sad. That, it's not that you need a whole bunch of fucking freaking friends in life. Sorry. You don't need a whole bunch of friends, but just to have maybe, one or two people outside your really narrow paradigm, and just to kind of keep you honest, just to kind of keep you, so that if you are full of BS at some point, they're going to call you on it. Not just people who surround you that's just going to be yes men and yes women. But that's not something that people value. Not everyone. So there's certain folks that value that, but not everybody. And certainly not this guy. His closest friend is, and I think partially related, is Ken Jones, the morbidly obese preacher that he defers to as his guru for education. Well, okay. Anyway, let's listen to what he has to say, because that is important. I'm not into kindergarten politics. I'm not into that sort of thing, because if I don't get to dictate who you associate with, then you sure as hell don't get to dictate who I associate with, and to what degree. I think that is something that people take a little bit too serious. Okay, so mind you, folks, I said something, I want to say a few weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. I said that I would love for him to try and do what I do. I would love for him to try and do like a review video of my content. And so here he is trying his best. The problem is that he doesn't understand the context of what the fuck I'm saying, or what the freak I'm saying. Sorry. It's hilarious to me. It is hilarious to me that when I'm talking about a topic that has nothing to do with him, he can't actually understand that. Even when I don't mention him, I don't reference him, there's no alluding to anything that he's done or said or anything like that. About a completely different topic, about something that has been in the back of my mind for a while. It's something that those of us who've been around for a while talk about. This childishness, just stuff in general. That applies to anything, especially office politics. I don't like you being friends with them, so I'm not gonna be friends with you. No, I don't like that. That's childish to me. That is extremely childish to me. That is not cool. So when I'm on that topic, he has a choice. He can say, okay, I see what Drag's talking about. Here's my experience with that, and here's how I feel about that. But here's why I think Drag gets it wrong. And then offer a cogent response maybe offer why that sort of thing may be preferable in certain scenarios. That's what I would expect from someone who has an IQ over 60. That's what I expect, because there's no edict out there that says, what Drag's opinion is always right and spot on. There's not. But there's a way to tackle a topic, and there's a way to G-man it. And if you G-man it, you have no idea what's going on. You just say stuff because you got a mouth. So let's see, folks. Let's see, because I think most of y'all. Warning: I don't give a shit. I don't give a poopy snoodlekins. Sorry. I want to see, and I need to turn that off. I need to see if he actually understands the content of that video. If he understands the points that I was making. And let's see if he actually responds to it, because even now, like y'all already know he doesn't. That's a given. That's a given. We already know he's not going to understand it. But in his, I guess, assessment of my response to it, I guarantee he's still not going to get it. So let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he has learned. Maybe. Olive Drab Patriot, aka Warning Good People, says, "No, I'm cool now. I have mellowed out. I think the timeout worked." No, it didn't. You said that last time. And then when we brought you back last time, you decided to take shots at Sokka's kid. So you're going to have to take that up with Sokka. If he wants you back, then maybe you can come back. Just saying. If he don't believe you, guess what? You ain't coming back. So, anyway.
Here and not appreciating the fact that there are going to be differing opinions about a variety of things. One of the few things that actually ties any of us together is our lack of belief, or our belief in whatever deity that may or may not exist. Other than that, there's a wide variety of positions that people have, either social, religious, what have you. So that's something that needs to be stated. Do I agree that someone's position on certain social topics are harmful? You damn right. But while some folks are busy excoriating others, they're fully willing to give platforms to people who will promote genocide against certain groups of people, as well as promote certain, racial cleansing ideologies. So I find that hilarious. Now, specifically to the opinion of certain individuals who feel as though Emperor's position on this social issue is a reflection of the show that he, myself, and Nate are part of, I would definitely like to inform folks about something that's very real that they may not like to hear. All three of us are actually doing shit in real life. That's something that I think a lot of people forget. YouTube is not our main gig, nor is it our end goal in any way, shape, or form. If you watched Nate's hangout today, this morning, you know exactly where he is in life. And you know exactly how little he actually cares about this whole scheme of things. If you are one of my subscribers, if you actually know anything about me, you know exactly what I have my hands in. And if you are among the privileged few, you know exactly what kind of stuff I have my hands in. And to a lesser degree, some of you are familiar with M's actual business. So we don't have the time to sit around all day and come up with shit for a show that we do once a week that may or may not be quality. It is what it is. That's what happens when you actually have a fucking life. So just so folks know, that's the reality of the situation. Because I think that people get too full of themselves on the internet and they forget that sometimes doing things in real life comes before bullshit on the internet. Because
Now think about what I'm saying here. We're all on this platform, majority of us for entertainment, some for a little bit of knowledge, some for a mixture, right? Nothing too controversial there. But he's pondering this stuff like it's life or death. Like I'm talking about, you can either take this Camaro at 10% APR, or you can get this Lamborghini at 13%. That's a few $1,000s cheaper. Like, he's pondering this stuff. Like, it's like really? What, did I say anything that was controversial at all? Like, are you? This is actually a good. Thank you. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna send that to Doc Savage. Whoop. Did I say anything that was controversial to anybody? I'm genuinely curious. The things that I said, the ideas, the assertions that I espoused, was that foreign to anybody? That seemed like maybe it's just me. I felt that was one of those statements that didn't need to be made, but you know what? Just verbalizing it kind of puts it out there and affirms what everybody kind of feels. I don't know. But man, is he really, really pondering this. Like he had never considered that before. I just assume that folks are listening to me while they're at work. They're doing stuff. They're working their 9 to 5. They're driving their trucks. They're doing their financial calculations in Australia. Whatever. Like that's what I assume. Honestly. Keith's up in Michigan drinking tainted water with lead. I don't know. But man, like it's like he's never actually sat down and man, like what have I done with my life? Prepping chicken. Like what is there to think about? What is there to consider? Playing Sekiro. I heard like 6 different versions of that game's name. I don't know why. They're all funny to me. So, like, I'm genuinely. I'm not being funny right now. I'm genuinely baffled at what he's thinking about. Like, what could he be thinking about? What's hard about what? I don't get it. Someone explain that to me. What is he thinking about right now? Because he's thinking pretty hard. Like, I don't know. Let's see, because I don't think anything that I said was controversial in any way, shape, or form at all. But I could be wrong. I'm going to reserve the right to be wrong on this.
This, what I do on my channel, what Imp does, what fucking Nate does, is bullshit. All of it's bullshit. What we do in real life actually matters. Point blank fucking period. Okay? So, that's something that I find hilarious when I see certain comments from folks who honestly don't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of. And you know exactly what I'm motherfucking talking about, okay? Make no mistake at all.
Just so folks know, I wasn't talking about him at all in that. But for some reason, he thought I was talking about him. Now, that pot to piss in and the window to throw it out of is a saying that my mother told me, that her mother told her, and that I find hilarious when she explained the context to me. It should have been obvious, but she told it to me when I was really young, and she used it to describe somebody who didn't have much going on in life, but had a really harsh opinion about what other people are doing. And so that's something that I kept with me. When people aren't doing anything with their life, when they're lazy, when they don't put in effort to improve themselves mentally, physically, or what have you, that's what I always think of. And they have little to show for it. Anytime that scenario comes around, I think about that quote. And so that's why I recalled it. But it just so happens that criticism fits him, and I think that's why he's upset. I think that's why I see the poopy face here, is because he thought I was talking about him. And it just so happened to fit. Hey, you know what? It just so happens to fit. Okay. But I wasn't talking about you.
So, with that being said, I will reiterate. No, I don't agree with.
Now, first and foremost, hello everyone. Welcome to GTV. I'm G-Man, your host. And before anybody gets mad at me and think that I'm going to be talking about LGBT, that is not what this video is about. I'm just going to respond to something that he actually said in this video. And if you get in here late, then just rewind it or go to his channel. Go to like the first 5 minutes and 11 seconds or whatever. Or 14 seconds or whatever. And you'll hear him say the words that, well, not say the words, but try to insinuate that there's a difference between this and what he was calling real life. If you go to his comment section, you'll see a lot of the people, and I'm not saying that he agrees with the people in his comment section, where they say that people take YouTube far too seriously. Just did a video about education, like literally like 2 days ago. You know what I mean? And before I did that one, I talked about being like the quote unquote perfect atheist on my main account. I'm gonna try to put it to Draggy Boy this way, okay, concerning this medium that we have here, this very powerful medium that we have here on the World Wide Web, which potentially we can have people from all over the world listen to the opinions and the views of a particular YouTuber, and maybe potentially change the minds of enough people where everyone will be able to benefit from it. See, I wholeheartedly disagree with what I was just listening to, as far as like there being a difference between this and real life. There is no difference between this and real life.
That explains a lot.
Not unless you're openly admitting that you're only cutting your computer on to waste people's time, and that your thoughts and views and the things that you talk about here on YouTube isn't really how you really see the world.
So when I said that he completely missed the point, and you all pretty much also guessed that he completely missed the point, congratulations, folks. Give yourself a round of applause. He completely missed the point. Good job, G-Man. Oh my goodness. G, you completely and utterly just annihilated the point that I wasn't even making. I had to give you so much credit, G-Man, for missing every ounce of nuance that was littered all throughout. It was rife all throughout that video. And I'm just like, what? Okay, so let me explain. Warning. Let me explain something to you, little man. Warning. I want you to guess how many people just right here in the audience have actually met me in real life. I want you to take a guess out of the folks just in YouTube who have actually met me. Okay? And I want you to ask them if there's any difference between me here and me on the internet. I think you might be surprised. The same person you see here is the exact same person you're going to see in real life. Word for word. So when I say don't take this medium seriously, I'm talking about the folks who seem to think that their opinions here about people that they vaguely know are actually going to impact their life. And maybe I need to spell it out a bit better. Let me see. There we go. Okay. I forgot that was deafened. All right. So I love the fact that is even missed by this guy. Maybe you and G-Man are just like kindred spirits. Y'all share. Do y'all split in IQ? Is that how that works? I don't get it. Like maybe you guys share 120 IQ and you just split it between the both of you. That's what I'm thinking, because y'all are some dumb folks. I got to say. I really, like, you would think that the 70 other people who say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I see what Drag's saying. Yeah, okay, it's whatever. Okay, whatever." But for some reason, somehow you just missed that. Y'all are kindred spirits. Definitely kindred spirits. That's a nice way for me of saying that y'all have a little bit of the slow. So just let me elaborate on this a little bit, okay? If I have I've had my IQ measured, and it's over. Is that 1:30 a.m. or 1:30 p.m.? Is that 1/30th? Is that one fraction, 1 of 30 parts? Maybe I don't know that type of math, but I'm pretty sure that's not how IQ is measured. I have 1/3 of a brain cell. I have 1/3 of a point. Oh my goodness. Or maybe each one of you guys, maybe you guys are one like neuronal cell, and then you all share the processing power between you. So when y'all get together, y'all can form coherent thoughts. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know. Is there like a hive mind? I don't. Anyway. So I'm sorry. I had to address that because that was funny. That was funny. He could have a high IQ and just have low EQ. That's possible. That's possible. He would be in a better place in life, more than likely. But hey, it is what it is. So here is what's funny about this. He felt so touched, so hurt by a topic that had little to do with him, that he forgets that his motivation. And I have to reiterate this for folks. G-Man thinks he's normal. He thinks that he is, just prototypical average American, except that he has Jesus. That's one of the only differences that he thinks. He doesn't actually realize that he is on the lower end of the bell curve when it comes to, let's say, mental faculties. He does not actually believe that, in the sense that he is going to acknowledge that the way that he thinks about things is broken, that his epistemology is all the way messed up. And so he often mistakes his personal motivations for everybody else's. And when I say, okay, yeah, I'm here to offer a bit of entertainment, maybe a little bit of information, maybe a little bit of education, but I don't really seek to change too many people's minds, because that sort of thing takes time and is best done in person. Just from my personal experience, at one point in time, sure, when I first got on YouTube and I was naive and I thought that people who call themselves skeptics and rational really meant that they were. But in reality, very, very few people are. Very few people actually want to have discourse. Most folks want to get on here to have a platform to try and find some type of affirmation that they don't get in real life. And as I found affirmation in real life, and I appeared on billboards and on websites and getting interviews and I'm getting honored and all that kind of stuff, my real life accolades outshine anything that I do on YouTube, and will, because I put the effort into my real life. You don't carry YouTube fame with you unless you're actually making some pretty good money. Then you can become a household name like PewDiePie. But if you're not on that level, you're not really doing much of anything. So if he wants to measure his success in light of his failures as a man, as a productive citizen, then I guess that's fine. Whatever helps him sleep better at night. But for the rest of us who actually have potential and have the drive to do something with our life, I don't think that that's how we're going to measure that. But he's free to live his life the way that he wants to. He can be the failure that his parents expected him to be. But I think everyone else are a bit more preoccupied with actually doing something in real life.
And what you really think. Very telling thing he said on his YouTube channel. And I understand that he was talking about, the whole emperor atheist thingy and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. And he was really talking about other atheists.
Okay,
and
so
he made a valid
he knew
point
I wasn't talking about him.
You guys don't like him talking about this, that, and the other, but you guys invite, people in here with some even weirder worldviews on your YouTube channel. So, I mean, he made a valid point with that. But where Dragnut's wrong is that, people come on here and this has nothing to do with real life. This has everything to do with real life. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, I was not a Christian. And all
right. So what he got from that is that YouTube has nothing to do with real life. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not what I said. I'm pretty sure I did not say that. And this is what you call the G logic. The G logic, folks. When he hears or he intakes information and he grinds it up and puts it through that filter, it turns into shit. It turns into poopy. Sorry, sensitive ears. Warning: you are wrong on so many levels with that comment. It is amazing that out of all the jokes and all the comments I've made about my past and my accolades, that you still haven't picked up on an accurate depiction. You need to try harder, my friend. But it's funny to me. It's funny to me that he knows the point. So he's acknowledged now that it had nothing to do with him. He knew the point that I was making. And so instead of addressing the point that I was making and keeping it in context, he's going to take it out of the context and say that I said something I didn't say. Now, it only took G-Man, almost 6.5 minutes to make a straw man. And I have to say, you know what? Maybe he's slipping. He is usually pretty good about making a straw man early on. But I think maybe he's getting a little old. Maybe his straw man arguments aren't coming as fast. But yeah, this hypothetical should be interesting. Let's watch all 6 of those brain cells work at the same time. Should be fun.
And I believe that God created the heavens and the earth and whatnot, right? But you got a disgruntled atheist over there and a disgruntled atheist here. And they decide that they're going to start a YouTube show where they're going to educate people about evolution and Big Bang cosmology. And in that show, they find fun and invigorating ways to be able to teach people about like how the theory works and all this other stuff and whatnot. But they take it seriously. They're passionate about it. They want to educate people. Then I happen to see it and whatnot, and all of a sudden my worldview changes. Then you got one less person out there talking about creation, right? Or what about, and by the way, that show exists. It's called the Non Sequitur Show. Or what about a show that has weird political views or opinions and whatnot, and they had a goal to try to influence like teenage minds and the minds of young people and try to like get them to see things from an atheistic perspective when it comes to politics, when it comes to just different things. And that show exists. That's called The Drunken Peasants. Or what about one in the quote unquote try to challenge the views of many Christians, which you would not be able to do on the scale that you can do here on YouTube. And you want to challenge them on whether or not God exists. Well, that show exists. It's called The Atheist Experience. And I think they take YouTube pretty seriously. Because you can do it as a hobby. You can do it as a full-time job. You can literally make a career out of this. Or you can just do it for the point of just changing as many people as possible.
Okay, and I love this. And someone said, yeah, he cut me off before I'd finished the statement, because I could have swore that I said, unless you're on the level of where you can at least get financially dependent and you're living above the poverty line from the income that you get, you probably shouldn't take it seriously. And so if this doesn't tell you that he doesn't actually pay attention to what people are saying, I don't know what, because I know I mentioned it in that video quite a few times. So good job, G-Man. Good job. You're agreeing with the point that I'd already made. Yes, if you are actually making some good money from this and you're not struggling and you can be financially dependent or independent and just have YouTube and Patreon and stuff, then go for it. Then take it seriously. That's when your efforts into your channel directly impact your life. That is the key difference there. And I don't know why you decided to skip over that, but I guess the only way for you to even have something to respond to is if you take what I say out of context and don't include everything that I said. But I mean, that kind of shows you, I mean, it continues to show folks that you don't really have much to say at all. Because folks who watch the original video and folks who literally listened to me say it before you even addressed it can see that, G-Man, you don't really know what the hell you're talking about. You don't even know my position. And then, interestingly enough, when I open up a hangout for you to address it, when I allow you to come in and just say, hey, let's have a one-on-one, you run. Because that's what you're good at. You're good at running from me. You're good at talking over people. You're good for running, but you're not really good at this whole thinking thing. That this whole trying to understand people's argument, that's not your strong suit. That's why you go and you argue with your boyfriends on the side of the corner while they y'all yelling at each other, spitting in each other's mouths. That's because that's the kind of stuff that you like. Oh, and by the way, I saw a little clip from Doc Savage, the one where you're talking about trying to, get those homosexual thoughts out of your head, trying to fight them out. They have that clip, by the way. And man, let me tell you, I need to actually, where's that clip at? I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna find that clip just so I can remind folks. Where is it? Quote, mine is the creationist's best friend. That's right. That is absolutely right. People who send me texts. Where's Doc Savage? Let me.
You know what I mean? But if you're the one taking this as a joke and you're the one who don't take this seriously, then of course your channel is going to reflect on it. The people that are following you are going to be people that don't take this seriously. Everything about you is just going to be a joke. But there are some people that believe they can use this medium to change things. Now, I argue from the atheist perspective. I want to argue from the Christian perspective. As a Christian, I have a choice. I can get the megaphone and I can go outside and I can go preach the gospel to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people outside and whatnot, right? I can go out there and preach to 200 people, 300 people, 400 people, 500 people, right? Or I can cut my computer on, preach the same gospel message, and potentially get as many people, I don't know, as 500 to like, I don't know, 1 million people to hear the same gospel.
All right, so for those of you who don't remember the clip, I got you. Don't worry. I got you. Let me get this. Oh, I didn't even see you in here, Sokka.
I'm not into the idea of two guys getting together and having doing things with each other sexually. As far as me doing any of that kind of stuff, I fill my mind with the word of God. I retain God in my thoughts on this particular topic. And the Holy Spirit was constantly reminding me about God's word. And it keeps me away from that.
Oh God, I'm not supposed to like this. Oh God, I'm not supposed to like this. Holy Spirit, you're supposed to remind me that this is bad. I'm not supposed to like this. Oh fuck, True, you look so good right now. Oh, Holy Spirit, fill my mind up with good thoughts of Jesus. Oh God, look at that banana. Oh God, Jesus. Oh God, Jesus, True. Oh fuck, I got it all over myself again. I'm not supposed to like this.
If you don't remember that cartoon, I didn't make that. That was Die Slow. I did not make that. Now, yes. So the context of that was that you never saw. Okay, if you never saw that cartoon, all right. So here's what happened. This is when G-Tard decided he wanted to go on his anti-gay trip, and so he had made a video. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then he would talk about, and you heard him mention it briefly, that he uses God to keep the homosexual thoughts away. Like he bats them away by trying to pray. And I'm like, I don't know any straight dude that has to do that. Even straight Christian men don't have to do that. Why would you have homosexual thoughts in the first place if you're not gay? And so you have to really wonder why in the wee hours of the morning that he has to do this. So methinks he doth protest too much. It's so funny how much that is a focus, because I find that odd. I just find that's just so odd. And so yes, that Doc Savage just so happened to have that clip. Yes, and then he thinking about trans individuals in the middle of the night. You know what? If you need to think about certain people with bananas and do certain things, you know what? That's your prerogative. But Don't try to convince people that you're straight. That's all I'm saying.
Message. I can get on here and introduce arguments and ideas and doctrines and things like that on here and change the status quo to make people aware of what's going on in the church and what is going on in the world. Because I take it seriously. And if I take it seriously, I'll get enough people that watch my channel to take it seriously, and we'll get some changes going. So it's a matter of perspective. If you are on here the ways, and that's why I said what he said was very telling. If you're on here, you know, and you're just egging around and you don't really care about the things that you claim you care about, and I can go right to your YouTube channel and talk about how you say you care about education, how you care about what is education, how you care about science. I guess you don't really mean any of those.
So I love his measure of concern and care, and how it's the only avenue that you can express that is through YouTube. Now, this is a crazy idea. Y'all stay with me for a second. Stay with me. This is going to be radical. Maybe the things that I care about, I spend time with outside of YouTube. I know that is mind-blowing. I know that is absolutely mind-blowing that I spend my real lifetime doing those things and not on YouTube. That lets you guys know, if you had any doubt that his life literally revolves around YouTube, that was it, because that's literally what he's looking for. Not the effort that I actually put in for my actual education that will actually garner me something in real life. No. Your education, screw a degree, screw actual education. The measure of your education for G-Man is what is on your YouTube channel. If that doesn't tell you how messed up in the mind that he is, I don't know what will, other than his behavior. There's little that I can say that can trump that, because this, by his own admission, is what he's using to somehow gauge my level of interest and gauge my level of dedication to these things. It's not that I'm educating people in real life. It's not that I'm engaging in any of these activities on another platform. Just let's be fair. What happens on a face-to-face, person-to-person level outside of this box does not matter to him, because he has failed in real life. This has become his real life. Think about that for a second. When you X out of this window, you go about your life, talk to your partner, your kids, co-workers, friends, family, whomever. And this silliness here goes away until you need to be entertained again. He doesn't have that luxury. Other people don't have that luxury. They don't. They are stuck here. This is their only form of human interaction because they have failed in real life. They have no admirable traits that another human being really wants to deal with. Not on a massive scale. They don't have the gift of gab. They can't actually pull in a crowd. They can't actually influence people in real life that they interact with. Maybe through this medium they can. You can come off as knowledgeable when you know next to nothing. It happens. There's sophists everywhere. But man, to measure a man's worth, what would the Greeks have thought? I find it fascinating, absolutely fascinating, that the measure of man has come down in the 21st century to his appearance on this electronic platform. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Isn't that amazing? How much do you have to fail in life to transpose a social media platform with real life goals and aspirations? How often do you have to meet absolute defeat, be completely destitute to get to this point? I can't imagine it. I've tasted defeat numerous times and probably will continue to. But there are hurdles, obstacles that you are meant to surmount. I don't make it a habit to be around people who give up and somehow warp reality into this. I don't make that a habit. I don't like those type of people around me because they're delusional. But that's me. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your time and who you should be around. You're adults. You can make that decision. It's your life. But man, oh man, it's sad. You have to pity this poor thing. Not hate. Pity. Because that's all it's worth. Pity. Be fortunate that it's in a first world nation that will care for it. Because I can't actually look at this cretin and consider him anywhere near equal to any other person who has not given up on life. Because that, folks, that's given up. Whatever happens in your life, don't become this, because this is sad. When I turn off the Streamlabs, when I hit InStream, I'm going to gather my things, put on my clothes, I'm going to take a nice slow walk to a university, get stopped by people with PhDs, greet, have small talk, go into a lab, and learn something that'll help me in the future. Socialize, come home, be with the family, and laugh at the failures of people like him. Because it is absolutely pathetic that people like him even think for a second that they have something on anybody else. It's sad to look at it that way. It is truly sad. It is truly sad to look at it that way, but that's the fact of reality. So let's listen to some more of his ravings.
Things, and you don't really care about educating people about those things. Your channel exists to waste people's time. Like, are you openly admitting that? Are you admitting that the Three Heathens show is a colossal waste of people's time and that they shouldn't watch it because you yourself don't even take it seriously? You even admit it, that you guys don't even put no real time and energy into it. Like, what kind of a moron gets on YouTube and says that and then expects people to watch you? Give me a break. But anyway, I thought that was very telling when he said that. And that entire video, that's the only thing I really want to respond to. As for the Emperor Atheist thing, I'm saving that one for another day because I'm gonna combine that later, very much later. But there's gonna be a lot of things I'm gonna be attacking regarding that. And by the way, Emperor Atheist, if you're watching this, you don't like me. I'm not that crazy about you. I wish you would come to Christ, but you're probably not. I do want to let you know that I actually was impressed that you actually spoke your mind. It's a very interesting thing to see people get out of the gangland mentality, stop going by the quote unquote script, and actually say something else.
This is kind of one of the things that I found interesting. People, and this is kind of a reflection of what I've been saying. If you actually paid attention to Emperor Atheist, he's always spoken his mind, albeit not the most articulate, but he has always said what was on his mind. That's literally been his entire MO this entire time. That's why he approaches conversations way differently than me and Nate. So I'm not sure what script that G-Man's talking about. I just what do you, that, and just so you know, G-Man, just so you know, he still doesn't like you and he's not going to listen to you. He thinks you're an idiot and a waste of fucking human flesh. Just so you know, just so we're tracking, he doesn't actually care about people's opinions online. If you knew what he actually did, then you probably know why. But anyway, actually, G-Man, I have a question, G-Man. Do you actually know his real name? I guarantee, I don't think anybody here knows his actual real name. Does anybody know? Okay, I didn't think so, but still. But you know him. Okay, all right.
That's on your mind. Now, as far as what you actually said, that's something a little bit different. But as far as, that goes, it's a little bit different. But, guys, I've been working all day, doing construction all day today. That's why I didn't do the G podcast or whatever. But I'm just happy that somebody spoke their mind on here and they didn't just go with the status quo. Somebody actually decided they wasn't going to go by the script and decided to speak their mind. Now, as far as, and I'm going to use myself as an example. If you compare me to Dragna, who obviously got on here and said that, people take this YouTube stuff too seriously. You know what I mean? In real life, that's what matters to them because they got things going on behind the scenes and whatnot. That's the reason why I got a lot of people watching me and caring about things that I got to say regarding, our Christian faith. My difference is with atheists on here and various other different faiths. Because I get on here, I'm serious, I'm consistent, and I'm on here enough making videos about these things. Whereas he just gets on here, calls people names, trolls, and wastes people's time. And I think we finally got some audio to actually prove that's what he's all about. He's about wasting people's time. He's not using this channel to try to teach nobody nothing about humanism or evolution or gaming or anything like that. He's on here to waste people's time. And I'm glad he finally admitted it. Because to me, it's very telling. Because I've been saying that for the longest time about him. And it's not just him. I don't want to just pick on him. There's a whole bunch of people on here who I think are just trying to waste people's time. They don't take what they're doing seriously on here. When I go into a Google Hangout, which is why I don't go to his no more. When I go to a room to discuss something about, to debate or discuss something that I actually care about, I want the people in the room that I'm talking to care about it too. And if you don't care about it, then what the heck you inviting me into the room for?
So it's interesting that he said that, but for some reason I sat in a room with him for 4 hours and I just let him talk. Now, he can claim that because I don't take him seriously, that I don't take the conversation seriously. And in an aspect that is true. And since he doesn't understand nuance, there's nothing that you're going to say, G-Man, that's actually going to impact my life. That's what I mean. There's honestly nothing that's going to come out of your mouth because you're fucking stupid. And yes, I'm using the F word. If you don't like it, you can fuck off. There's nothing that I see in you or coming from you that will probably ever change my position on literally anything. Because one, you are so uneducated that you actually make it a job, a second job to unlearn anything that would resemble an education. First and foremost, and that formally doesn't matter. Second of all, you have no rigorous way of determining fact from fiction. You are an unreliable source for literally anything, even your own beliefs. Why would I take you personally seriously, other than just to let you talk? And when I do engage you, when I do sit down, and that's weird, I sat down for 4 hours almost, and sat there and let you talk and engaged you specifically on B17, you ran from the conversation. And I explained in great detail about the mechanisms involved in something that you claimed worked a certain way. So this right here, G-Man, is an excuse because you know that when I invite you to a hangout, you can't hang at all. Literally, you can't. There's nothing that you can say that's ever going to make you look like the winner or make you look anywhere near as cogent as I can come across to almost anybody other than your little fan club of girly men. But I find that interesting. What you're searching for, G-Man, is an excuse as to why you avoid me. Because you know in every single conversation we've ever had, you look terrible. and you're scared, and I understand. If this is what you want, if this is the narrative that you want to spin, you're going to have to try a bit harder, because you can't on the one hand say that I don't care nothing about the conversation when I actively engage you in it, and then take something that I said on a completely different topic out of context. You are trying your hardest. And yeah, by the way, folks, he avoids Positively Godless too. Thank you for the screenshots, PG. He ducked PG in New York as well. Positively Godless, I can share those screenshots too. He was in New York. PG was in New York texting G-Man. G-Man, again, squirreled his way out of it. G-Man, you are a punk if I ever saw one. The scariest little punk I ever seen in my life, matter of fact. Just like a lot of people on here. Y'all talk a big game. A big game. But man, oh man, oh man. That's all internet talk. That's why you spend a lot of your time trying to talk a big game. All this WWE stuff. Because you know you can't back it up. Any of it. It's like when I met you in real life. It's like, come on now. This is the dude that's been talking all this mess. Come on. I'm trying to find that screenshot. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let me forward that. So let me show y'all something. Something pretty interesting. Oop. I didn't mean to do that, PG. I was trying to work this stupid phone. Let me just save it. I'll save this one. Let me show you guys when you actually are in the vicinity of G-Man and you say, hey, come holler at me. Let me show you how he responds, just so you guys know. Just so we're all tracking on what to expect. Okay? I'm going to pull this up. There. Let me get this. Gotta get them in order. Okay, there we go. Okay, so and you can look at the time there. Now, check this out. Check this out, folks. Check this out. When he was talking all that mess about what PG believes and what PG did as far as his job, and PG's like, you know what? Why don't you come holler at me? I'll be in your neighborhood. We can, because he's been trying to get me to come to New York. Y'all remember that a few months ago? He wanted me to come to New York. And here's why I'm not going out of my way to meet him anytime soon. Now look at this. Look at this. Now, G-Man, you can make whatever excuses you want for this, by the way, because I'm curious. Now look at this. So, video proof that PG's in New York. Saying again, it's a no-show. Oh, how long are you going to be? Oh, I just forgot. Mind you, I was there when PG had first mentioned it to him before PG took off. Hey, we go home tomorrow. I will be here at Penn Station around 3 p.m., 3:30.
Hey, he didn't forget.
No, he didn't forget. No, he bitched out.
He had to work extra shifts at the barrel store there to make the money to get the Uber.
Of course, that's what it was. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Buy PP medicine.
So look, he makes more excuses. Won't be available. I could come there now, but I won't be there till around midnight, 1 a.m. We're going to sleep soon. Now he's at the gym. What's your exact? I might get an Uber. Now, what? 3 hours later, almost. From the time that PG had first told him about it. 9, 10, 11, about 3.5 hours later. Making excuses. He knew PG was going to be there. And I'm just like, come on, man. If you really want to show people how tough of a guy you are, when folks tell you, hey, let's settle the score. Let's what's up? Let's talk man to man. He ducked Sam, ducked PG that time too, and he ducked PG again. This is the second time he's ducked PG. This is telltale sign of a bitch. I don't know how else to put it across to him. This is bitch. You are made of bitch. You come from bitch. But let's listen to some more of the guy who's had success in life.
So you can waste my time? No, I don't think so. And like I said, I'm very, very happy I heard that, because I replayed that several times today. I was like, the heck did he just say?
Why would he replay it
Did
several
he just
times?
admit it? Finally? That he's wasting people's time?
All your time being wasted.
Which is exactly what he's doing. Now, some people.
Yeah, I know that Bitchmade has been taken over by folks who don't even understand the cultural reference to it. That's okay. Some of us are used to having things appropriated. See what I did there? That's actually me and somebody else were laughing about that yesterday. That's like,
Right, Drag, you're gonna have to give back the chicken and waffles. Come on.
yeah, I'm gonna have to give it back. Oh, darn it!
Give me back my chicken and waffles.
I have to come up with
Culture,
something new.
come on.
Yeah, I have to head into work here, so I have to stop listening here for a bit. But I just want to point out that it's hilarious that you don't take this seriously. This isn't your life. It doesn't mean like that you aren't a honest interlocutor when you are approaching some of these discussions. It just means that you're not relying on this for an income, that you can stop making videos tomorrow and the world won't end for you. That's what it means not to take it seriously. He thinks not to take it seriously means that like nothing you say is true, that you're just here for for the comedic value, and that's it. That's not necessarily what that means. It just means that it's just not a priority in your life. But that being said, you as someone who just throws up some videos, doesn't really take it seriously, will garner more views and live viewers than any video that G-Man has put out. For a guy that does take his channel seriously, his channel's a fucking failure.
You're right. You're actually right. And then when you actually go to Social Blade,